Here we are in the Bohemian region of Zadarskivechi. This spring region is located about 150 kilometers southeast of Prague, the capital of the Czech Republic. The center of the area is Nove Mesto no Morave. The history of this picturesque village, with nearly 10,000 residents, goes back 800 years. In the cold season, it's a famous winter sports resort and well known for biathlon and cross-country skiing contests. But right now it's summertime and time for some top-class cycling action. Welcome to the 6th round of the UCI Mountain Bike World Cup, presented by Shimano. In the penultimate cross-country edition of this event, everything is focused on the decision in the final rankings of the World Series. In both the women's as well as the men's category, the World Cup overall could be fought out ahead of time. But for the hosts, it's not only this reason that makes this event something so special. Jan Svoboda, former road cycling pro, knows why.
This is the return of the World Cup in Czech Republic after 14 years. And we will have lots of spectators because Jaroslav Kulhavy, our Czech rider, is currently leader of World Cup, and I hope he can win.
And before the main attraction on Sunday, the riders battle out the winners in another interesting new race format. Initially this season, the so-called Eliminator found its way into the UCI Mountain Bike World Cup, presented by Shimano. Due to the success in the first two events, the UCI have decided to integrate this short-distance elimination race into the series for 2012, and with good cause, as Swiss rider Ralf Neef explains.
It's something in between the World Cup and just the arrival, you know. We have a race on Friday and you're not just lying in the bed, and it's a lot of action. It's easy for the TV to get all the pictures, and yeah, I think it's a nice thing for our sport to have such an aggressive and fast race.
And German rider Manuel Fumik describes the specific characteristic of the Eliminator.
I can say it's going to be a really nice race. Lots of sprinting, lots of also technical stuff, technical section, also jumping stuff, and I think for the spectators it's going to be really nice, and for the rider as well.
So let's have a look and see how things go with this new contest. In the elimination, 4 athletes qualified for the final, and they're now waiting for the start signal. Here we go. Swiss Stefan Peter with the fastest accession gains the lead, followed by Ralf Neef, Aussie Paul van der Plug and Manuel Fumik. And oh my gosh, what's that? Both of the favourites crash out. Neif and Fumik are off their bikes. So now it's up to Peter to defend the winning margin. On the home stretch, Van der Plug catches up, but I think that's going to be it. Unexpectedly, Stefan Peter wins the Eliminator sprint in Nove Mesto. Van der Plug comes in second. Fumik and Neif got hurt and finish off real far behind. So let's get back to the main thing. We asked top peak Ergon athlete Wolfram Kerschat to ride the track with a finger cam. Let's see what he's got to say about the 4.2 kilometer track.
Yeah, we will start on the asphalt and go very fast straight in the wood. There are 5 steep climbs and technical downhills. So after the first climb you go down to the feed zone and tech zone, and then you have 4 more climbs. There's 1 drop after the second climb. There you have to follow 1 line. If you do this part first time, it's a little bit tricky, but then when you do it second or third time, it's easy. Then comes the third climb. After the third climb, there's in the downhill a second tricky part. where you have to keep concentration because it's a rooty section. The fourth climb is not so steep, it's open track. There you can overtake riders in front of you. Then comes a very steep last fifth climb. It's very physical, and before you go back in the arena here, there's one rocky section, one built artificial rocky section. It's tricky, but yeah, if you get used to it in the training, it's no problem.
Next day, we had a date with the Czech Katerina Nash and her parents. As a young girl, she moved to the States and became a Luna girl.
I grew up in Czech Republic, so it's pretty exciting to be back here and racing World Cup mountain biking. In fact, the last time I was in Nove Mesto na Morave, I was ski racing here at the Cross Country Ski World Cup, which is something I did before mountain biking. I got into mountain biking as a sort of a summer off-season training for skiing, and after I graduated from the University of Nevada, Reno, where I went on a skiing scholarship, I fully switched to mountain biking, and that's what I've been doing last 10 years, racing for the Luna Pro team. You know, cycling is very popular, not necessarily the racing, but every person rides bike at some point in their life. A lot of people use bikes as mean of transportation, so everybody knows about, you know, riding bikes. And I think having Jaroslav Kulhavy doing really well in mountain biking and a few of us doing really well, the popularity of the racing itself is also growing. So you know, people know our names, they follow our results, and hopefully a lot of people will come out tomorrow.
And some people who will definitely be there are the people who know her best, her parents. As a child, Katerina was very lively because she was always trying to catch up with her older sister and wanted to try out all the sports and more or less everything else. So, why did Katerina emigrate? Well, we always wished for her to be able to visit a good school and have a good education. Of course, when it came down to it, she even had the chance to do some sports as well, and that's exactly what we wanted. And what's her recipe for success? Her mom explained. Yeah, hardworking, focused and conscientious. And unfortunately, there's another 71 athletes with exactly the same character traits who have travelled to Nove Mesto, and none of them are willing to give away any precious World Cup points. For the current World Cup leader, French girl Julie Bresset, and her pursuer Catharine Pendrel from Canada, the performance in Nove Mesto is going to determine their ambitions to win the World Cup overall. The riders are set for 6 challenging laps plus the start loop, and they're off. So let's see how things are going to progress in this race. Julie Bresset succeeded in one of her power starts and took the lead right from the start loop, followed by the Italian Eva Lechner and Natalie Schneider from Switzerland. The newly crowned European champ, Dale Flesja in position 4. At the top of the climb, Bresset demonstrates her climbing qualities and pulls away from Lechner. And when the French girl finishes the start loop, she's even extended her lead. So that's the time to follow. Lechner crosses the line and Bresset already has a 9-second gap over her. Pendrel, who caught up some places, pushes hard in the last meters and is 15 seconds behind the leader. Back in the woods, and Bresset still out in the lead. Behind her, Luna rider Pendrel heading off Eva Lechner, who's now in second place. Okay, so there's no doubt, Pendrel is pedalling as quickly as she can and tries to close the gap on Bresset in the lead. At the next ascent, she is already breathing down the World Cup leader's neck. And there's some trouble there for Julie Bresset. Having her foot out of the pedals gives a chance for Pendrel to go around on the outside. As they come back together, almost shoulder on shoulder, the Canadian now fighting to take the lead. And she knows that the 22-year-old rider is having problems in the technical sections. Pendrel in front, trying to control the speed, but Bresset fighting for the single trail. On her way down to the stadium, the young series leader already distanced from her pursuer. And as she finishes the first lap, she's got a lead of about 16 seconds already over Pendrel. Lap 2 back in the fields. The Russian rider Irina Kalantiva finished the start loop in 9th and has now made an offensive attack to try and gain some places. Entering the arena, she finally manages to catch Lechner. Out in front, Julie Bresset gets into some serious trouble and has to pay the price for her enormous pace at the beginning. Not only has she got problems in the pedals, but she's also starting to get real tired. Coming to a standstill there on the ascent. And the chasing group are putting on the pressure from behind. So we make a big jump and rejoin the race on the 5th and penultimate lap. The rankings haven't changed, but Pendrel has extended her lead to 36 seconds over Julie Bresset. Behind the French BH-Suntour girl, the two-time world champ Kalantiva in 3rd place takes no risks over the rocky sections and just carries her bike over nice and safely. And what about our local hero? Katerina rode a constant race and she's now battling for 12th place with Lizzie Uzzell from Austria, the World Cup overall winner from 2009. At the end of lap 6, the Luna team rider has extended her lead for another 30 seconds. Only a really bad crash could stop her now. And Pendrel arrives in the arena. Just a quick look back and yes, she's got it in the bag. Pendrel finishes the race with her 6th World Cup win in her career and her 2nd this season. And you can bet she's really happy. With a gap of almost 1 minute, the young World Cup leader comes in 2nd place. And then Irina Kalantiva finishes nice and safely in 3rd.
I really wanted to get up to Julie early on, and I was able to do that. I think it was by the first lap, but then I messed up the rocks pretty good and lost like 30 seconds and had to bridge back up again.
And the winner's Czech teammate, Katerina Nash, comes in 13th place with mixed emotions.
I wanted to win. I enter races wanting to win, and so it was a decent run, nothing spectacular, but the overall experience was it was a really fun day. And I just have to say thanks to all the spectators out there for cheering me. It was quite the experience.
And completing the podium is the current European champion Gunrita Dalflesia in 4th and Eva Lechner in 5th. Julie Bresset and Annie Last there, 2 under-23-year-old cyclists in the top 8 riders. Remarkable. Thanks to her win today, Pendrel has reduced the gap to Bresset by 50 points and still keeps a chance to win the overall. And this guy is currently Nove Mesto's most wanted man.
Hello, I'm Jaroslav Kulhavy. Welcome to my home country.
As the local hero and the current World Cup leader who can manage to win the World Cup overall here in Nove Mesto straight away, he's the centre of attention. Not only for his girlfriend Martina, he's the ideal of a real athlete. He gets up in the morning around 9, eats his breakfast, takes a break, and then after that he gets on his bike for maybe 3 or 4 hours. Then in the afternoon he sometimes takes another hour to relax, and then either goes swimming or goes to the fitness centre. Evenings, either we go out for dinner or we cook something, maybe watch a movie, but usually we stay at home. And also his teammates from Specialized Racing are real fond of the quiet Czech.
He's very simple, easy guy. If you would ask him how you're feeling for tomorrow, he said, it's okay, we'll see.
And he's also respected as a tough rider as well.
Yeah, Jaroslav is a pretty chill guy, you know. He doesn't say much, but he does a lot, you know. Obviously it's been inspirational watching him ride this year. He's not fazed about anything, doesn't get fazed about the competition. He just goes about his own way, and he's very confident in himself.
So with all the pressure from the public, plus the chance to win the World Cup overall in front of his home crowd, is this a burden for the race? Yeah, of course, this race is twice as important for me. On the one hand, it's the first World Cup after 14 years at home, and that's a real big thing. On the other hand, my season has been really good for me so far, and so I'm going to race for the overall win. So for me, these are the two reasons why I would really like to have some success here today. Of course, there's the overall World Cup win, which I would really like to get, but I really don't want to disappoint my fans either, and that's why it's going to be a very challenging race for me. And you can be sure that his brand new 2012 Wonder Weapon is going to help him to cope with this challenge. All in all, I feel really good on that bike, and I think it's going to be perfect for this track. And we're going to see him and his prototype later on the track. Here we go with some action. 124 riders enter the starting block one by one. The top riders such as Julian Absalon, Nino Schurter, and last but not least, Jaroslav Kulhavy is the World Cup leader. Line up in the first row. And there's the starting signal. It's gonna get serious. 124 riders starting off full speed ahead. And right from the start, Jaroslav is present in the leading group, but when the riders enter the woods, he's already taken the lead, closely followed by the Scott-Swiss power teammates Nino Schurter and Florian Vogel. And at the end of the start loop, he's created an almost 10-second gap on his chasers from Switzerland. The reason for that may be Nino Schurter, who fell back at the beginning of the first lap, and he's not able to keep up with his high pace. Now he's been caught up by the current world champion Hermida from Spain, and the Torero is pushing forward. Florian Vogel tries to take it on with Kulhavy. But the gap between him and the overall leader is getting bigger, not smaller. At the end of lap 2, a new chasing group has formed, but the Cannondale guys in front are uncertain about who's going to make the pace. In contrast to them, Jaroslav riding at his own tempo, powering on. The chasing group around Manuel Fumek is getting bigger, but their gap to Kulhavy is growing instead of shrinking. Even Julian Absalon is now getting underway. We missed him in the last World Cup races. Where's he been?
I did a little break after Offenburg. In fact, I did the Marathon World Championship, and after I did a little break to be in good shape for the second part of the season here in Nove Mesto, next week in Italy, and also for the World in Champéry.
Now we're on lap 4. Nino Schurter is on an upswing. He's broken away from the chasing group and is now overtaking the tired Spaniard Hermida. Here we have Absalon and his followers, Flukinger and Rudy van Hoots. We jump to lap number 5, and Absalon is getting in better shape lap by lap. But supported by the Czech spectators, Kulhavy holding his high pace out in the lead. Back to the start-finish area, and Jaroslav has lost track of how many laps he's still got to ride. Here we are on lap 6, and Absalon, in company with Hamida, has just managed to get in contact with Kulhavy's chasers, Schurter and Fontana. At the start, last year's world champion had some problems to keep with the pace in the leading group, and before the race he told us why.
I spent 3 weeks in a high altitude training on 2,400 meters above sea level, and yeah, I focused again to prepare my the best for the world. Maybe I'm not that strong this weekend because I just come back from that training camp some days ago, so I'm still a bit tired, but I'm sure for the Worlds in Switzerland I'm ready for the big game.
Hamida, who made a tired impression earlier in the race, has got back on his feet again and made his way back up to the front. And it seems like Julian Absalon just can't be kept back anymore. He's now breathing down Schurter's neck, who's currently in second position. Meanwhile, it's the last lap for Jaroslav Kulhavy, and the Czech crowd are already going wild. Schurter and Absalon follow him into the last lap with a gap of 1 minute and 15 seconds. Jaroslav Kulhavy on the home stretch now, popping a little wheelie to please the crowd. You can bet that this guy feels on top of the world. Puts his arms in the air, pays homage to the crowd, says thank you very much for your support. Comes in and takes an exceedingly good win.
It was really amazing race for me. Incredible atmosphere here in Czech. A lot of my friends and Czech friends. Really amazing.
Over 1.5 minutes later comes Schurter from Switzerland. Then the familiar face of Julian Absalon. So the first 3 places, Kulhavy, Schurter and Absalon. And with this performance today, Kulhavy not only took the win, but he also took the World Cup. And there's the scores on the doors. Kulhavy, a very dominant win. And in the overall standings, Kulhavy has it now in the bag. He's won this year's World Cup. So we say farewell to the Czech Republic and hope that you'll join us next time for the final event in the UCI Mountain Bike World Cup presented by Shimano from Val di Sole in Italy. See you there.